What a ball game is the San Francisco 49ers victorious in week 17, 42-38 against the Chicago Bears. Sunday Night Football, prime time. We've got a lot of game balls to give out, mostly on the offensive side of the football. And could we possibly see a part 2 of this matchup coming up on today's Locked On 49ers?
You are Locked On 49ers, your daily San Francisco 49ers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On 49ers. Brian Peacock and Eric Crocker at BD Peacock at Coach Crocky. Thanks, everybody, for making us your first listen on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Love our everydayers. Thanks for hanging with us. Make sure you're subscribed up on YouTube if you are catching us live post-game, or whenever you are or wherever you are listening or watching this podcast, hit that subscribe button and check out the Everydayers Club. More on the Everydayers Club. You can find the link in the show notes. We've got a lot to get into in this football game, Croc, as the 49ers will be playing against the Seattle Seahawks for the West and the 1 seed in the NFC in week 18, which should be fantastic fun and hopefully as thrilling as this one was on Sunday Night Football as the 49ers victorious 42-38, Croc. We're going to talk about how good the offenses were in this game. The defenses, not as much, but they got the one stop they needed, Croc. The 49ers needed one stop to get Caleb Williams and the Bears off the field when the clock struck 0, and they were able to do so and held the Bears out of the end zone in a 40-38 win. We talk a lot about bend, don't break. Someone on Twitter replied to me just now, bend, don't brock. Score 40 is the best defense the 49ers have right now.
It was remarkable. We talked a lot throughout the offseason about what the 49ers were likely going to have to lean on to have a successful season. And there were holes throughout the defense and a lot of young guys. And you knew there were going to be some ups and downs, but you weren't anticipating losing Nick Bosa. You weren't anticipating losing Fred Warner, Mykel Williams, and the plethora of other injuries that they've had throughout the season. But I knew that at some point, 49ers offense was going to have to pick things up. And that they have. I mean, they have been terrific. I think we've seen Morstead one time since November. So, I mean, he's kind of been chilling. That one time was early in this game, but the offense has been awesome. Brock Purdy is playing at an elite level, in my opinion, especially over the last couple of games. Chris McCaffrey, finally, there's some run lanes, and he's making things happen, ripped off his longest rush of the season, and the 49ers needed all of that to take down the Chicago Bears, because obviously the defense not playing well. But when your offense can put up 42 points, I felt like, shoot, maybe they could even put up more if they really needed to. I mean, it's been really awesome watching the level in which this offense is playing at. And I think the version of Brock Purdy that we're seeing right now is what I think people thought they were seeing before. No, this is a different level that he's taken his game to, and the 49ers offense is the beneficiary of it.
Love seeing the folks from around the world tuning in here post-game. Looks like it's about 2 a.m. in Brazil, apparently, doing the live post-game thing. And how could you sleep after that game, Croc? What a fantastic game. You mentioned Brock Purdy there. When we're giving out game balls, we got to start with Brock Purdy, who's put up 10 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks, 5 more scores, this time 2 on the ground with 3 through the air. And it feels like an eternity ago. It's easy to forget that this game started with a pick 6 on the first play of the game from Brock Purdy going the other way. The 49ers in a 7-0 hole. It didn't matter. They came right back down the field and scored again and kept going where they left off last week, putting up more points. They're averaging 40 points a game the last couple of weeks. Brock Purdy's averaging 5 touchdowns scored, whether it's rushing or throwing the last 2 weeks. You got to give a game ball to Brock Purdy. He's playing, Croc, is this hyperbolic that he's playing at the highest level that he has as a San Francisco 49er right now to end the 2025 season, despite the injuries he went through earlier on in the season? And maybe the best play he's ever made as a 49er on that touchdown pass to Kyle Juszczyk. Just having fun back there, making guys miss in the backfield and then turning it into 6 points. Really just phenomenal to watch the way Brock Purdy is playing football right now. And as mentioned in the chat, yeah, he's collecting game balls, and the biggest of game balls to Brock Purdy after this one.
You mentioned the interception on the first play of the game that was returned for a touchdown, and there was some mixed opinions on the play. But what it looked like to me was you had a squatting cornerback in Jalen Johnson, did not move, and as soon as Juwan Jennings, put his foot in the ground to run that slant, Johnson just broke on the ball. He got there a little early, but I don't think they called it because he was going for the ball. Like it wasn't like, oh, let me pass in the field play. It was both of them going for the ball, and Johnson just kind of got there a little earlier, batted the ball in the air, then it ended up being a pick six. So obviously did not start well there, especially after hearing Brock Purdy talk about, just got to take care of the ball. And, they were talking about the 49ers' path to being the number one seed. So didn't take care of it on the first play. But after that, there was another interception, but they called hands to the face on a defender in the end zone.
That was a huge play because that was Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, right? That was a huge play.
Got his hand up there. Hit it. My brother was like, BS. Now my brother's a Dallas Cowboy fan, but he's like, dude, that's ticky-tacky. All right, but whatever. So that definitely worked in the 49ers' favor. And if that play would have stood, maybe we're having a different conversation because of how 49ers defense played. But nonetheless, is this the best version of Brock Purdy I've ever seen? Without a doubt. Like, it's bar none. And I think that there are people that have labeled me a Brock Purdy hater. And I'm like, no, I'm not hating. It's just like, yeah, he does some things good. And when he's doing things bad or whatever, you talk about it. But the version of this, like, back-to-back games with an interception, I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about, like, just watching him and the level in which he's playing at. It's at an elite level, whether it's with his legs, with his arm, the way he's maneuvering in the pocket, the throws that he's consistently making. He ripped one up the seam early in his game, the Tunges. And another reason why I believe this is the best that he's played is because he doesn't have like his full weaponry of arsenal. A lot of people felt like, it needs the Avengers. And he, last season, it looked ugly without having a lot of those guys out there. This season, you've seen him each week just pick his game up more and more and more. And now, it's still Robinson, and yes, there's Jennings and CMC, but you're missing Kittle, you're missing like there's guys that are out, and it doesn't matter, especially when you see him play a game like he did this evening. So it's awesome to watch. And they posted some clips of Drew Brees, and I think a lot of people have talked about just that comparison, but I think you can see it now more than ever before, just how close that comparison truly is.
Phenomenal stuff. Thanks everybody for tuning in here. If you're with us live on YouTube, we appreciate you. Make sure you're all subscribed up here. I want to tell you all about the Everydayers Club in a little bit. We've got a lot to get to in this game, a lot more game balls to give out. A fantastic win for the San Francisco 49ers, defeating the Chicago Bears. One thing I want to highlight really quick was the quarterback on the other side, and Caleb Williams. He had a really nice game, and he's coming into his own as a young quarterback for the Bears. You guys mentioned a lot during the crossover with Lauren Cox of Locked On Bears and the creativity of these two quarterbacks. And man, did it come to that. And it was so much fun to watch these two young quarterbacks go at it and create plays and make plays. 330 passing yards for Caleb Williams. He threw it 42 times, completed 25 of them, 2 touchdowns. He was sacked 0 times, got out of any pressure he needed to, even when the 49ers were blitzing. Brock Purdy was sacked 1 time for 7 times, 1 combined sack with these two teams. So that starts to tell you the story of the lack of defense and the lack of being able to stop the opposing team, but also that creativity and that ability for both of these quarterbacks to move around and make plays and get out on the move. Despite the pick 6, Brock Purdy ended up making more plays, ended up finding his receivers more often than Caleb Williams did. And I thought Chris Collinsworth did a really good job of showcasing some of the mistakes. And I think there's still so much growth for Caleb Williams to come in his career. And how good is he going to be with Luther Burden? If you've listened to the show, you know.
Can we talk about a couple of these throws that this dude made? And that's when you talk about physical traits. When he threw that 1 touchdown on the free play,
yeah,
I thought, like, when it left his hand, I thought because of the trajectory of the ball, I thought he was throwing like a 15-yard pass. And
Right.
it just kept going. Next thing you know, it's 50 yards on a rope to the end zone. I was like, wow, that was pretty different. And
Mhm.
then that one throw rolling to his left and throwing it like, I mean, just a laser, a ball on a rope down the sideline at number 20. And then that one throw to, I believe it was one of the tight ends on kind of a wheel route, and just the location of it. I mean, he hit that guy in stride. He does some freakish things.
Yep.
And it was fun watching, really kind of what you're hoping is something that, not saying it's going to be a rivalry, but, two of the better quarterbacks in the NFL moving forward, just what that battle looks like. I remember years ago watching, I'm not putting them on the same level, but Tony Romo and Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning's on the Broncos and Romo, and it was like a 48-50, game, and like just the quarterbacks, how they were just going back and forth and throwing haymakers at each other. And this game reminded me a lot of that.
Oh man, the Bears are here to stay, and I think they're only going to get better. And I think Caleb Williams is only going to get better. You see the big plays he can make. You see the creativity getting out of the pocket and creating plays. But you also see some of the misses. And Collinsworth did a good job of highlighting some wide open misses. And he's got to hit those. He's got to get his feet under him. And you can't get lazy with that footwork and be making sidearm throws when you don't need to, right? And you got to find those plays that are there when all you need is to hit the wide open guy and move the chain. So sometimes you just need the chain moving throw. You don't need the big throw. He's got the wild throws right now. A little bit of a wild stallion though still is Caleb Williams. But man, I think under Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams, I love Luther Burton. You know that we're a fan of Luther Burton on this podcast going back to pre-draft. Should have been a 49er in my opinion. But he's a Chicago Bear. They're going to be a good team. And I think they're going to be even better.
It's a breakout game for him.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. He was the number one guy here in this game. Let's talk more about Luther Burton, more about the San Francisco 49ers offensively, some notes defensively, as well as the Niners have a massive win, 42-38 over the Bears in week 17. Today's episode of Locked On 49ers is brought to you by PrizePicks. Whether you're starting a new routine or jumping into a player projection for the first time, trying something new can feel like a challenge, but with PrizePicks, it's always just a good feeling, right? It just feels good. It feels right. It is fun. High pressure football matchups every weekend and elite hoops action every night. The action never slows down, and PrizePicks let you stay involved and stay in control and have a lot of fun navigating through these high leverage football games and basketball games. The PrizePicks is the daily fantasy app that makes watching sports even more exciting by letting you build lineups based on player projections. No drafts, no waiting. Just pick more or less on those player projections, and you are on your way. Getting started on PrizePicks is quick and simple. The app is super easy to navigate. You can make your lineups in just 60 seconds, and you can make multiple lineups with all different kind of combinations as you see fit. So download the PrizePicks app today and use our code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. So we had talked about this before. If Brandon Ayuk got traded, I think Luther Burton would have been a San Francisco 49er Croc. And if the 49ers would have even not traded Brandon Ayuk and they would have known how this season was going to go with Ayuk, I think they might have made a maneuver. They were only 5 picks away from Luther Burton. Luther Burton won the second round, about 5 picks before Alfred Collins. And Alfred Collins, I think, is going to be a pretty good player. But man, Luther Burton would have been such a fantastic fit for the San Francisco 49ers. For sure, his breakout game, 8 catches for 138 yards and a touchdown, making plays after catch. He would be fit right in as a replacement Yak Bro for the 49ers where that is needed. I think he's going to be a really good player. I think he could potentially, in Ben Johnson's offense, be a little bit of a faster Amon-Ra St. Brown. I mean, that's how good he could potentially be for the Chicago Bears with a young budding star quarterback in Caleb Williams. But Croc, we got to get back to some game balls here for the 49ers in this victory. I think, I mean, Austin Pleasance has to get a game ball, right? Filling in for Trent Williams and almost perfect in the sack department. 1 sack for 7 yards on the night for Brock Purdy. They were able to make big runs. Christian McCaffrey's best run of the season off the left side. We used to see that a lot with Trent Williams. We saw with Austin Pleasance in this game, unexpectedly in there, playing a full complement of snaps with Trent Williams dealing with a hamstring. We'll talk a lot about those injuries with Trent Williams and being out and George Kittle being out, but you got to give a game ball to Austin Pleasance the way he stepped in and the way the 49ers didn't skip a beat. Maybe their best running game effort of the entire season, and obviously kept Brock Purdy clean. He was able to make tons of plays in the pocket and out of it.
I think they might charge that one sack to him. It came from Brock Purdy's backside, and I think it was him that got beat off the edge. But outside of that, I mean, he was really good.
Sweat. Is that who it was on that one?
It might have been 94. Was it Booker? What was his name?
Booker? I don't know. I can't remember who got the sack. I can tell you right now.
94. He had a pass breakup early in the game, and he's the one that got whooped by.
Yeah, 94, yeah. Austin Booker.
Yeah. So I think he got him. I think he got him one time. But outside of that, he was good, and I don't think you could ask for more. I mean, the 49ers put up 42 points. And if I'm not mistaken, Trent Williams left the game after that first pick six, I believe. I don't think he played another offensive snap. Mm-hmm. So Pleasant was out there and was had a big hand in the 49ers being able to put up as many points as they did, still be able to execute in the run game. Some of the run game designs, man, they did GT counter on a reverse. I thought that was sweet. So GT, that's the guard and the tackles both pulling, and they had like a misdirection with the fake to the right, then came around with the end around, and so there was some nice design stuff going on there too. But he was out there, out in front, running, blocking down the field. Another guy kind of under the radar a little bit. Burford.
Spencer Burford. Yeah, the left side was solid.
Yeah, Spencer Burford. I thought there was on the long run by Christian McCaffrey, and they were talking about the receivers blocking downfield. I'm like, are you guys not going to mention Big 74 running 30 yards down the field, still blocking guys? So it was awesome to see Spencer Burford, a guy who's taken a lot of heat from the 49er fan base. But Burford and Pleasant doing a terrific job tonight.
Christian McCaffrey over 6 yards per carry in this one. The 49ers and the Bears both, as offensive units, were over 7 yards per play in this game. I mean, it was 600 and something yards passing, and another 200 for the Niners and 110, almost 1,000 yards of offense combined between these two teams. Over 900 yards of offense between the 49ers and the Bears. 303 passing yards for Purdy, 140 rushing yards on 23 carries for Christian McCaffrey. One of his best games running the football all season long, over 6 yards per carry, 6.1 per carry. And Robinson in there had a couple of nice runs. He was 5.5 yards per carry. Brock Purdy, obviously, with the 2 touchdown runs as well. But I think probably the best run of the season, not only in length, he had a 41-yarder, but the 26-yarder earlier in the game was on Christian McCaffrey. The move he made in the hole to get out and get loose on the left side. One of his other longest run was just like blocked well, and it was wide open, and he hit it down the right sideline. But that run that he went up the middle, made a move, got out to the left and got out in the open, 26-yarder. Before he broke the 41-yarder, that was his best run, I think, of the entire season. It was nice to see Christian McCaffrey be able to create on his own. And to be honest with you, we haven't seen a lot of that as a runner this year. And so that was fun to see. So a game ball for Christian McCaffrey, who's obviously doing ridiculous things as far as the numbers he's putting up, another 140 rushing yards. He had 4 catches for 41. I don't think he's going to get, unless he has 110 yards next week. I don't think he's going to get to that 1,000-yard receiving, but it's not impossible. He could be a big part of the game plan for the 49ers passing game against those Seattle Seahawks next week. But it was fun to watch Christian McCaffrey have some space and be able to create a little bit in this one.
Yeah, another guy who has some space and was creating, Ricky Pearsall caught 5 passes on 8 targets, 85 yards, and just some of the routes that he ran. He ran, I don't even know what to call it, where it looked like he was, kind of stemmed inside, came in almost like a blaze out, but he did like a 360 kind of spin and then pushed out. I mean, just completely lost the defender, Nashawn Wright, dropped him off and made a catch.
Put him on the ground. Didn't he put him on the ground on that play?
Yeah, put him on the ground. Just dropped him off. Yeah. Go play over there real quick. I'm busy running these crispy routes. So Ricky Pearsall coming alive, and it was awesome. You never know how, is he going to be targeted and whatnot, but they did a really good job of getting him the ball. There was one where I want to say Brock kind of sidestepped left to create more of a pocket for himself, and then ripped one over the middle, a nice dig route that he threw to Ricky Pearsall. That was a really good one, a nice throw and just enough separation for Pearsall to catch the ball. So Slick Rick, really good performance. Definitely have to give him a game ball.
The confidence for Brock Purdy, right? Like just the swag, the dance moves after making big plays, just the confidence of how he's playing and where he's throwing the football and where he's putting it. I think that's the big thing that I've noticed with Brock Purdy, just the level of confidence that he's playing with right now at quarterback, and just getting everybody involved too. This wasn't one guy getting the entire game plan. Jake Tongas jumping in there for George Kittle, had 7 catches for 60 yards in the early touchdown. Juwan Jennings with the catch and run. He only had 2 catches, but one of the bigger catches of the game on that dig route, 38-yard touchdown there. Love seeing a little run after the catch for the 49ers and be able to do some things in space. So really great game in the passing game all around for the San Francisco 49ers. More game balls to give out, more to talk about with the San Francisco 49ers win 42-38 over the Chicago Bears on Sunday Night Football. And man, could we possibly get another matchup between the 49ers and the Bears before this season is done with both teams playoff bound? We'll get into all of that next. Today's episode of Locked On 49ers brought to you by Gusto. Let's be real. No one starts a business for the joy of calculating tax withholdings or managing payroll spreadsheets. That's where Gusto comes in, to take the stress out of payroll, benefits, and HR so you can focus on running your business and supporting your team. Gusto is an all-in-one remote-friendly payroll and HR platform that makes managing your team simple, transparent, and fast. Whether you're hiring, onboarding, paying employees, Gusto helps you do it all from one place without the hassle or hidden fees. Unlimited payroll runs for one monthly price with Gusto, which means no surprise chargers at the end of the month. Gusto's automated tools like offer letters, onboarding materials, direct deposits save hours every week for your business. So try Gusto today at gusto.com/lockedonnfl and get 3 months free when you run your first payroll. That's right. 3 months of free payroll at gusto.com/lockedonnfl. That's Gusto, GUSTO.com/lockedonnfl. We mentioned the game ball for Pleasance. I think we've got to talk about the coaching staff, Croc, and Kyle Shanahan once again. We've talked a lot about Kyle Shanahan and how we believe he should not only be coach of the year, but front runner of coach of the year. I think big wins like this, when his defense can barely get a stop, winning a shootout in prime time, will help his cause and get him more votes and get more people talking about him as coach of the year. But the job that Forster did as well, the 49ers offensive line coach, to have his offensive line playing this way, have replacement guys come in for a Hall of Famer at left tackle, and you wouldn't even notice in a lot of ways that it was Pleasance out there instead of Trent Williams. So phenomenal job by the 49ers coaching staff. Forster deserves a lot of love for the job he's done as an offensive line coach, and has been mentioned in the chat quite a few times here, Croc. Once again, a game ball to Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan's best work as coach of the San Francisco 49ers in 2025, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's a couple of teams that it's going to be a little tough, right? Especially if Jacksonville wins out.
Yeah.
You got the Patriots, you got Jacksonville. Jacksonville being 12-4 right now with a team that, was just down and out, and everybody kind of counted them out. And for them to be where they are, a team that beat the 49ers early in the season as well, and you just thought, like, 49ers are supposed to win that game. Turns out, maybe Jacksonville is kind of good. All right. So first-year head coach, the way he's kind of turned things around there, I think it said first coach in the history of the NFL to win 12 or more games with a team that had like 6 or less wins the previous season. So big ups to that coach, especially after the
actually,
Duval.
Kyle Shanahan just did the same thing. 12 wins after 6 or fewer the year before.
Well, but he did it the first year as coach.
First year, right?
Yeah,
you can't be the guy that lost that won only 6 games the year before, like Kyle did.
Right.
Well, how big of what do you think is the biggest difference? Is it like Christian McCaffrey being healthy, or is it Robert Saleh? Because kind of making fun of the bend don't break defense. The 49ers did not play a lot of defense in this football game. Couldn't get pressure on the quarterback. Brought some blitzes. Was able to make things happen. The ultimate bend and don't break game. They might have even cracked and nearly broken, but when your offense scores 40, that helps your defense to not completely break. But Robert Saleh, I think, is one of the biggest reasons the 49ers have done so well this year. And the fact that they're even staying afloat with all the losses they've had. And I know this is a weird thing to say, coming off of maybe their worst defensive performance of the season, giving up 38 points. But they did get the stop at the end. And I think one of the biggest differences in a 6-win team last year and a 12-win team this year is Robert Saleh.
I don't know. The defense has been bad. I mean, all year. Now, like, we understand it. Like he's missing his horses. He's missing the big money guys. He's missing his first round draft pick. So I understand why the defense is as bad. Especially again, started off saying it. I expected there to be some ups and downs defensively, but I do not think any way, shape, or form he has anything to do with why the 49ers have been successful this season. I believe it's Brock Purdy. I just the level in which Purdy is playing at right now has elevated the 49ers above whatever else the issues are, whether it's injuries, whether it's a terrible defense. He's just executing and functioning this offense at such a high level that is covering up a lot of issues.
Well, don't forget the 49ers defense has had some decent performances and played well this year.
They did early in the season. Yeah, early in the season they did. But as of late down the stretch, I mean, just there were some good games, but again, I thought there was some bad opponents with like the Browns. The
Browns they only gave up 8 points to the Browns. The Titans was an interesting one. They did give up 24 points to the Titans. Last week, the Colts went crazy in the first half, but I thought the second half adjustments were phenomenal from Robert Saleh in the defense and kind of went untalked about. And obviously this game was really rough and they finally were able to, and I like the defensive calls at the end, put the pressure on Caleb Williams, get him running backwards and don't let him sit back there and pick you apart. So I like some aspects of that, but I think Robert Saleh has done a pretty darn good job. Despite this game, it'll be easy to dunk on Robert Saleh because of how this game played out defensively. But I think it's easy to forget how good a job he's done. I think he's had a big part in a lot of the wins. Maybe not as much in this win, but in a lot of the 12 wins, I think Robert Saleh has been a huge asset for the 2025 version of the 49ers.
I think there are a few guys right here. You got Jake in the chat. He said, let's not forget Mac Jones keeping this in the hunt. Right? Kyle put both Mac and Brock in positions to ball out. And, Mac Jones did do a terrific job of keeping the 40. You want to talk about who has a big hand in the 49ers being in the position there right now. I mean, Mac Jones might have the biggest hand in it because he was not supposed to be a guy that did what he did. I believe going 5-3 over a stretch of 8 games. I mean, that's pretty remarkable for a backup quarterback. So, yeah, definitely a huge hand in it. But just to see in the moment now, because we're here. We're here. The 49ers have an opportunity to be the number 1 seed in the NFC. And I think that's largely due at this point in time because of how Brock Purdy's playing.
And I think it all comes back to Kyle Shanahan, too. And we talked about the Jaguars. And we saw Mac Jones with the Jaguars last year and how bad that looked. That's why Mac Jones was available to sign a 2-year backup contract with the 49ers. And then you see Mac Jones with a better coach with the 49ers. And you see the Jaguars that are now better coached. And you see how that team is playing this year. So, Kyle Shanahan, man, coach of the year. How about someone I believe is Ian in the chat says, where was it at? Talking about the secondary still being mediocre. Deommodore Lenoir, the big tackle on the hook and ladder, because that was nearly a game ender, and the 49ers might have been down 45-43 potentially with a couple of seconds left to go if he didn't make that stop. Alfred Collins is mentioned here in the chat, got his big old paws up there and batted down a pass just enough on the defensive side of the ball, Croc, to come up victorious in this football game. Do you have any more game balls to give out before we go here after this massive 42-38 win for the 49ers in week 17?
I think you got to give a game ball to the faithful. They were loud, man. The crowd was rocking down the stretch. I could hear it through my TV. Now, a lot of times when I'm watching, I actually prefer to watch games from home, but I'll turn the TV up real loud so it kind of feels like I'm in the atmosphere of the game. And the crowd was roaring all night. They were really loud. So it was awesome to see, just how much support the 49ers have. And it wasn't too long ago where people felt like Levi Stadium was cursed and it didn't have the same feel as Candlestick Park. And, there was all of that talk, but now I feel like it has its kind of own thing going on. And the crowd was awesome.
Speaking of the volume,
secondary's bad.
Yeah, there's a lot of space out there, man. They're attacking the safeties, especially Jair Brown getting attacked a lot, and Jair Brown taking bad angles again, which we saw in his college tape in the run game, which is a big part of that Swift run, I think. And the defense, by the way, was gassed at the very end of the game. You see when the clock struck 0, the ball hit the ground on the last play, multiple players just fell over onto the ground on both teams. Like, they were on the field a lot. They were just done. And a sigh of relief that they finally did get the stop at the end of that game for the 49ers defense. Thanks to the kind words to Elizabeth here in the chat, saying that Peacock and Crockett game balls for the amazing recaps every week. We appreciate it. We appreciate all you folks for tuning in here post-game or pre-game or whenever it is to Locked On 49ers. Always have a lot of fun breaking it all down here. And so thank you for tuning in. And we, of course, will have more about this game, more on the upcoming Seattle Seahawks, who looks like are favored by 1.5 points. Interesting. In week 18, it's a focus on winning the division, a focus on potentially getting the 1 seed. That opportunity is there. It is a playoff game, essentially, for the San Francisco 49ers. 1 win equals 2 wins if the 49ers are able to defeat the Seattle Seahawks next weekend. And if you need a last-minute post-Christmas gift, someone keeps asking you what you want, make it easy. Ask for the Everydayer Club. Ad-free episodes of this show, exclusive Discord server access, and more. Subscriptions can be gifted through lockedon49ers.supercast.com, or you can check the link in the show notes. And for those of you on video, we will send you to the first ever 24/7 national NFL YouTube channel as well after this. So check out all of the national programs, Locked On NFL. Of course, myself and Matt Williamson bringing you the NFL 6-pack every day as well on the Locked On Podcast Network. And Croc and I back tomorrow right here, Locked On 49ers.